Let's test how well Claude Code can do causal inference modeling for data science. In other words, how long until AI takes my job? So the first thing I did was generate data where I know the ground truth. So I created a data set with 40 geos, so 40 different markets, and a time series of 2 years of weekly data. I then set it so that I chose five of the regions to be randomly treated. And in the fourth quarter of the last year, so in the last 3 months of the 24-month data set, there would be a treatment effect that would be a 10% increase in bookings in those treated regions. So a 10% increase is the ground truth treatment effect. I then provided Claude with that data set. So you can see its weekly bookings by geography, and the geos are part of different regions. I then gave it this prompt, which I said, I'm acting as if a marketing, sort of a non-technical marketing stakeholder or product manager went to Claude with only this data set and only with the knowledge of which were the treated geos. So you can see the five that I listed here, as well as the treatment date, and said, you have free reign, whatever model you want to choose, whatever packages, whatever methods you want to do, tell me what the treatment effect is. And that was it, right? So the idea is that, can a non-technical stakeholder with an appropriate data set using Claude be able to get reasonable results? So let's look what Claude did. And the rest of this notebook, other than just this right here, where I gave it the configurations and the data, everything else was written entirely by Claude in that one single prompt. Okay, so the first thing it does is some exploratory data analysis. It aggregates the regions into treatment and control, so you can see that they track each other on average bookings over time. But it also, for some reason, does total bookings over time, despite the fact that there were only 5 treated geos and 35 that were untreated. So I don't know how much you get over that. It was then looking at the overall trends, and it identified that the control group had dropped by 12% from the pre-period to the post, and the treatment group had dropped by 2%. So incidentally, it would have gotten the answer correct if it just stopped there and said there was a difference of 10%. It would have been very close right there. So it starts off by doing the simple difference in differences approach. So this is without a model. It just looks at the differences in the mean bookings in the treated group versus the control in the pre versus the post. And it finds an estimated treatment effect of 19%. So that's just really no statistical modeling, just a pure difference in difference estimate. It then goes on and does the regression-based difference in differences, but with two-way fixed effects. So this time it does a regression model, but with fixed effects for the geography, the geo level, as well as the week. And of course, it gets the similar result of that 19%, but now we have a confidence interval as well. It also offered two alternative specifications, and that was to convert the bookings into log bookings and then estimate a similar model, and then also to use region-specific linear time trends, which is probably going to be a little bit of overkill. Now, incidentally, the log linear one actually got a little bit closer result, and the true effect is inside the confidence interval, and it's not the same for the two-way fixed effect. And then with the region-specific time trends, that model had an even higher estimated effect of 25%. So what Claude is doing right now is it's going through and doing multiple models, and it's presenting results for a wide variety of models with this data. So only after providing results for the data does it test one of the validating assumptions of difference in differences, and it checks for pre-existing trends. Now, in this case, there actually was a statistically significant difference in the trends. Now, that should be a major red flag, and Claude does flag it that way. And notably, when I created this data, I did not purposefully put in a pre-existing difference in trends. I generated the data randomly, and I randomly assigned which geos were going to be treated. So Claude does a good job here of noting that there was a pre-existing trend detected, and it flags it as a warning. But now, interestingly, despite that, it actually goes into something more complicated, which is to get heterogeneous treatment effects by geo. And here it actually got the model wrong. So here Claude actually did a mistake. See, what it did was it looped through each of the 5 treated geos one by one. And it basically did a difference in difference model for each geo at a time. But when it looped through, it failed to drop the other treated geographies. So each time it goes through the loop and estimates the effect for one treated geo at a time, but now it has 4 of the other treated geos that are considered in the control group. And instead, what it should have done is, if it wanted to do it this way, would be to drop those. It's also not clear when you just have one treated geo why you're doing it as a difference in differences and not necessarily synthetic controls. After this, it goes into an event study, and that's to visualize the changing effects over time. And it does show that the effects, for some reason, were increasing over time. Where's this? And incidentally, it didn't really even calculate this. It didn't do like this as typical event study modeling, where it's building sort of a relationship against the other units. It actually did this more as a difference in differences, but with different effects at each week. And then after this, all it does is summarize the results and it gives a summary table. It does give the caveat again about the pre-existing trends, but you can see the final results table really doesn't talk about that at all. And it even gives this recommended estimate. So I think there were a few things that Claude did well and some importantly that it did really wrong. So well in that it was able to reasonably do a difference in differences model, which is a very reasonable approach to this problem. It tried a variety of specifications and gave a range of results. But the biggest problem is that despite failing the parallel trends test, it still gave recommended results. And if you were working with a non-technical stakeholder, I wouldn't really expect that just giving that warning, that caveat that they would take it. Like a non-technical stakeholder is going to say, okay, great. So there's this caveat, but they're still going to go with the results, right? So I think Claude needed to be stronger about either not saying that these results are not valid, that we don't have evidence that the parallel trends assumption holds, and it should have done a better job of looking for alternative specifications, such as trimming the donor pool or maybe trimming the pre-period piece to instead of 2 years, maybe 1 year, to where the parallel trends does a better job of holding. It also could have done some AA testing, and I really didn't see anything that would kind of give a preferred model specification, let's say through AA testing, to say why would the difference in differences approach be better than say synthetic control or some other method.